It starts as a normal afternoon in the city. Then the sky turns a bruised purple, and the wind begins to howl between the skyscrapers. The downpour is so heavy that drivers abandon their cars and pedestrians dive into the nearest doorways. In the scramble, 4 men, a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, and a politician, huddle together and find refuge in the small, sagging home of a poor woman. She greets them with immediate hospitality, offering seats and brewing a pot of tea to ward off the chill. But as the warmth returns to their hands, the men begin to look around the cramped, humble room with visible discomfort. When they learn their host is a domestic cleaner who washes clothes for a living, the atmosphere shifts. The relief of being dry is replaced by a sneer. They whisper about the grime of their surroundings, seemingly offended that they have to share air with someone of her standing. Even when the roof over their heads is the only thing keeping them safe, the men cling to their titles. In this small room, the social ladder hasn't disappeared. They are simply using it to stay as far away from their host as possible. A voice tears through the thunder, a sound so massive it feels like the walls are vibrating. It announces that a sinner is inside, and that the house will be struck and leveled unless the guilty party is cast out. The ultimatum is absolute. Find the sinner and remove them, or stay and be incinerated. The house is no longer a shelter, it's a target. Terror fills the room. Each man starts speaking at once, listing their professional achievements and public service as evidence of their moral purity. No one is willing to admit to a single fault when the price is a lightning bolt. To solve the deadlock, they agree to a test. One by one, they will step into the storm. If the lightning ignores them, they are innocent and can return to the safety of the house. It's a survival game dressed up as a logical experiment. By testing themselves individually, they hope to isolate the guilt and push it onto someone else without ever having to look at their own reflections. The doctor goes first, trembling as he steps into the rain. He stands there for a full minute, soaked and terrified. When the sky stays quiet, he rushes back inside, his fear instantly turning into a smug sense of validation. The lawyer and the police officer follow. Each time, the tension inside the house spikes. As each man returns unharmed, the group's collective confidence grows, while the number of remaining suspects drops. Finally, the politician takes his turn. He faces the storm with his eyes closed, waiting for the end. But the strike never comes. He steps back through the door, laughing with relief, as the 4 men celebrate their shared innocence. But the storm doesn't stop. The thunder only grows louder, demanding a sacrifice. If these 4 pillars of society are clean, their logic dictates that the stain must belong to the only person left. They all turn toward the woman. The fear that was just threatening their lives is now channeled into a single unified point of aggression directed at their host. Their relief has found a target. By clearing themselves, they have effectively backed the most vulnerable person in the room into a corner, projecting every ounce of their own terror onto her. They begin to shout over the wind, accusing her of bringing this curse upon them. To these men, her lack of status is the only evidence they need to decide she is the sinner. The woman remains calm. She reminds them that this is her home, the sanctuary they begged to enter. She asks why she should be forced into the mud to save people who have done nothing but insult her. The men don't listen. They grab her by the arms and drag her toward the entrance. In a desperate surge of self-preservation, the 4 elites violently shove the woman out into the dark and bolt the door behind her. Their true character is finally on display. It isn't found in their degrees or their titles, but in the fact that they would kill the woman who gave them tea just to buy themselves a few more minutes of life. The woman falls into the mud as the storm reaches a fever pitch. The rain is a physical weight, and the air hums with the static of an impending strike. Then the sky splits open. A massive, blinding pillar of white light bypasses the woman entirely and obliterates the house, turning the 4 men and the structure to ash in a single heartbeat. The elites were only safe as long as she was with them. Her presence was their only protection, a shield they destroyed the moment they pushed her away. As the smoke clears, the clouds break. A quiet, golden sunrise begins to color the horizon, showing the woman standing in the mud, completely untouched by the fire. The world is often held together by people like her, the quiet, the humble, and the innocent. Those who think they sit at the top of the world may find that they are only standing there because someone else is carrying the weight.